Right boys, finally managed to get the camera sorted after hours of messing about trying to sort it. So today is back and hams. I've just done some filming, but I needed to clear the camera and mess about. I'm still figuring everything out. Back and hams. It's working really well for me at the minute, this training split. The reason why I'm doing back and hamstrings together is because I still do a pull session, which is on Tuesday. And just to hit some more back volume, I do back today. And then I do hams. I do a little bit of hamstrings on legs anyway, but then I do more quads really on the main leg day, and then today I'll do back and hams. This is the only day where there's no arms, so today I will not do any arms at all. And it's a good job as well because my arms are killing from this week, so I need the time off basically. So I will catch you soon. Is a single arm pull down. It's meant to be a cable, but I'm not a massive fan of it. So with this, I'm just trying to hit my lats. When you're doing it, just focus on bringing your elbow down to your hip and then get a really good stretch at the top. Twist away from the handle. So if you're using your left arm, twist back to your left, but don't swing. I'm going to do a warm-up set first. I always start like 50% of the weight, 75% of the weight, 6 to 8 reps. My working weight at the minute is like 45 a side, 3 sets 8 to 12. I need to get 11 on my second set and at least 9 on my last set. And then when I've hit 12 on all 3, that's when I'll go up. So, easy to start off. Always start on your weaker side. So for me, it's my left. I always get less reps. Feels heavy today. Didn't really get enough sleep last night. That don't help. You've got to pull with power, because if you're up in your weights, you're getting towards the back end of the set, the reps are just going to slow down naturally, but that's when you've really got to explode on the concentric, otherwise you're just not going to be able to move the weight. So when I got to like rep 10, 11, that's when I'll try and just fucking get some power into it and kind of throw the weight a little bit, but without swinging. And then just keep the control all the way through. So when you're coming up, it doesn't have to be fucking mega slow with mad pauses, but just keep some control. If you're just letting the weight go and then coming back down, you're not really keeping tension on the muscle throughout. You're only working on the concentric, and both parts of the lift, both parts of the rep are important. But yeah, the grip strength thing, slow the shit. Just get some straps, man. Because the last thing you want is your grip giving way before your back does. The whole point of trying to build muscle is trying to fatigue and muscle. You're not trying to fucking make your hands tired or get your hands stronger. That defeats the object of what we're trying to do. And my grip strength's not good anyway as it is. So if I didn't wear straps, I'd be lifting fuck all. That second set was shit. I went from getting like 10, 11, 12 reps all the way down to 8 or 7. So because I'm out of my rep range, I'll just drop from 45 to like 35 just so I can get my rep range again. Ideally you don't have to do that, but if you have to, then just do it. Sometimes it's just an indicator of poor recovery. Okay, last set. Let's see what we can do. Fucking hard today, that. Really hard. Harder than normal. Got a good pump. See, sometimes you're not going to get stronger, but you might get a good pump. So, I'm not really that fussed. You're not going to get stronger every single session that you do. You're not a fucking powerlifter, and even they don't get stronger every session they do. So, it's a myth that as soon as you lose a little bit of strength, you have to take a deload. What's the point? All the bodybuilders back in the day just used to keep training. They might take a little bit of time off every so often, but that was it. You just keep going and keep going and keep going. Because trying to build muscle is not just about strength. It's a massive misconception. It's important, which is why we track our lifts. But it's not the only thing that matters. Lying hamstring curl next, 3 sets, 8 to 12. Now last time I managed 39 for 12, 46 for 12, 46 for 12. So today I'm going to do one warm-up set at like 25, 32, 6 to 8, just to get juices flowing. And then I'm going to try and hit 46 for 3 sets of 12 because I should be able to get it, really. But on the first movement, weren't as strong today. But it should be sweet. Usually this line arm is quite easy. I've only just jumped on it, but it's one of the easiest ones I've ever used. And I enjoy using it, so let's have it. Just make sure when you set the ankle pad up, it's on your ankles properly. And you don't want it sliding around on your legs when you're bringing your legs up. And then in the starting position, you want a full stretch. So just make sure at the bottom, you're stretching out your hamstrings as much as you can. It's not too bad, to be fair. It'll be a lot harder by set 3. But because I've not hit that weight before in 3 sets, I'll hit that first, get the 3 done, and then next session I'll just move up to the next weight, which is 53, and I'll just keep doing that. Thing is as well, because I train at 2 different gyms, the weights are completely different, so from one brand to another, one gym's dead heavy and another gym's dead light, so that's normal though. If you're ever like training at different gyms or using different cable machines or using different branded kit and you're wondering why the weights are always changing, it's because the kit always completely different weights. There's 3 cable machines at the other gym, or 4 cable machines, and the weights are completely different on all 3 of them, like drastically different. So it's just what happens. It could be the brand, it could be the wear and tear over the years, it could be a few different things, the amount of what they call them spinny things that the cable sits on, it could be the amount of them. So there's a lot of different reasons as to why the weights can vary. What I was saying before on that pull down is always start on your weaker side. So my weaker side on that exercise is my left, and I always start on that side. I was starting on my right because I kept forgetting to start on my left. It's more natural for me to just start on my right because I'm right-handed at everything except from writing. Yeah, I know it's weird as fucking it. Don't ask. But generally, I'm usually stronger on my right side, and that is the case. Like, I'm right-footed, right-handed at most things, but then I'm left-handed at writing. Just, I don't know what happened there. I think I didn't realise what hand I was supposed to use when I was writing at school, and I just thought, I'm just going to try my left and see if I can use that one. I remember swapping quite a lot. When I was dead young, I used to swap hands all the time. Weird. So, set 2, I'm not needing a long break because that set wasn't actually that difficult, but next session I'm going to go up, then I'm going to go up again, then I'm going to go up again. It usually takes you about 6 to 8 weeks to get into a training program because you're still in that trial and error phase. You don't need to do like percentages of weights and percentages of 1 rep maxes for hypertrophy. It's just not necessary. Just do it through trial and error. You'll get there a lot faster as well, instead of like trying to calculate every single weight that you're supposed to be doing. I've never done that ever, and I don't know anybody else that does it like personally. I know there are certain people that do it, but I just don't recommend it because some people are mega strong at low rep ranges and really weak at high rep ranges, and some people are the other way around, and you tend to be best at what you practice most. So it can vary massively in terms of like proportional strength. So trying to calculate a 1 rep max percentage, it's just never really going to work accurately. Things aren't feeling very smooth today. Like, things just aren't feeling good. Can't really feel my muscles properly. Sometimes it can actually be a lack of caffeine for me. Sometimes when I smash caffeine off, my performance in terms of just feeling my muscles just feels better. But today, it doesn't feel great. So I've got 1 more set to do. I'm going to smash that off, and then I'm going to move on to the next exercise. 2 floats. See how it feels. I'm going to try and get 2 12s. It's just 2 sets. It's one of the heavier, bigger exercises. It's a lot more taxing. So it's just 2 sets. I'm going to try and go all in, but I don't think the weight's going to be heavy enough in the end. But I'm just going to take it up slowly because I had recurring back injuries. I find them so hard. any deadlifts. You're alright, lad. That's right. Deadlift or hip hinge variation absolutely fucks me. I'm a better squatter than I am a hip hinger. But again, I kept running into problems there as well. Knees and back. An hour of my entire week. There's little bits to try and keep the fitness there, but my fitness is fucking shit. One more set. Just gonna hit the same weight again, I'm not going up. Stupid decision if I go up. This is the hardest it's been, I reckon, in a year. It's fucking sweaty. I'm sweating my dick off. I always wear hoodies in gyms usually because it's not because of a pump cover, because even if I take it off, I'm still not big. It's just like temperature control. You don't want to get too cold. Sometimes I'll take my hoodie off after a hard set like this one, put a hoodie back on because I'm too cold. Whereas if you're just in a t-shirt all the time, you can't really control that. I'll give it another, I don't know, another minute or so probably, and then I'll crack on. The lying hamstring curl, it's a shortened range exercise, which means it's hardest when the muscle's fully contracted. So if you do that first, and then come onto an exercise like this, and then work the muscle in the lengthened position when it's fully stretched, so when your legs are a bit straighter, and when your hips are flexed, it's meant to be good for hypertrophy. And with this, you won't need to go as heavy because you've already fatigued the hamstrings a little bit beforehand. Leave one more. Last one done. Now we're going to go back onto a row. I'm meant to be doing a leg extension at the end for a little bit of quad stimulus, but I think I'm going to dodge that today. I'm just going to do my calves because this session wasn't meant to have either in, and then I threw a leg extension in and the calf raise at the end. But the way it's going today, and with the food I've got in me, I'm probably best giving it a miss. So I'm going to go into row, overhand grip, an overhand row next. The only two options I've got is the overhand row plate loaded one over there, a T-bar, which I already do on pull, and I go at it, and then like a bent over row, but I've just done RDLs. So the best option for me now is that, and the way that I do it, when I'm pulling, I'll just focus on really stretching out the upper back, and then just driving the elbows back, trying to bring the shoulder blades together every time I do it, and then I hit more of my upper back that way anyway. So the idea is just to hit a muscle in a certain way. So I'm getting a similar stimulus by doing this as I would on the other fucking plate loaded row over there, so it doesn't really make a difference. And I already do like a neutral grip, I already do the T-bar, so I'm going to chuck 80 kilos in here, try and get three consistent sets of 8 to 12. In fact, I'll do 90 because I did like 80 and 100, but 100 was a bit heavy last time, so I'm not doing a warm set. I've already done a shit ton of sets. And because I'm not that strong, I'm not doing like 4 or 5 20s a size. You don't really need a warm set unless you're really strong. I'm not on everything. I do it on the first couple of exercises, and because I'm doing back anyway, after that I just don't do any more. So 3 sets, 8 to 12. That's it. And then I'm going to move on. Not happening. Weak as fuck. Gonna drop it. Costs like 80. Gonna go and get a heavy Nando's in a bit. Need that. Nothing like a good Saturday Nando's with the boys. Don't know what I'm gonna get like, because I'm partially dieting. Probably just gonna end up with chicken and rice. fucking standard. But instead of getting it for free or for very cheap when I make it myself, I'm going to fucking end up paying 15 quid for it. I've not been this week in ages. On my week though last night, it told me my HRV's dropped, which usually means that recovery is worse. And it usually happens if I've had any drinks of alcohol at all, which I did, I had one last night, that's it. It has an impact on my heart rate variability, which is a massive indicator of good recovery. If your HRV is low, it usually means poor recovery. And when you go on like a heavy session or you've been up all night or you feel ill, it'll tell you, and it can actually read when your recovery is going to be poor. But my HRV before it was like 105, 110, and now it's up to like 80. So it's pretty shit. 80 is not low, but it's still, it wasn't good compared to where it was before. And my heart rate was down to like 51 resting, and now it's back up to like 55, 60. It's mad. Took out leg extensions and pullovers, and I'm literally just going to finish on a seated calf raise and then that's it. Because when you're losing that much strength, you just need a rest. So tomorrow's a rest day anyway, which I'll take, and then go back in on Monday and then just go at it as normal. Right on here, I've gone straight from 40 to 50, which is a big jump. It's 25% jump on top of what I was doing already, which is a lot. So I'm going to give it a go. It's 3 sets, 8 to 12, and I'm going to see how it is. When you do these, I'll run you through how to do them properly. Make sure your feet are straight for one, and you need to make sure the pads tight in your legs. Get the balls of your feet close together so everything's aligned. So you want to line your feet up with your thighs, yeah? And you don't want to like turn your feet as you do it. So everybody does this thing where like they'll turn the feet. Yeah, you want to keep your feet straight. Come up, push the handle out, and then you're good to go. Push the handle out, and then you're good to go. But come up on your big toe as well. You just got to make sure your feet don't slip. When you do it as well, instead of sitting all the way back here, you want to slide forward, like get your legs under so then you can get a good stretch in your calves, and then you're less likely for your feet to slip off because you'll get a good stretch at the bottom but then your feet won't just slip. Because if your knees are too far back, your feet are just going to slip. So that's the way to do it. To be honest, I thought with the 25% jumping weight that I'd be a lot weaker and that I'd struggle because of the way the rest of the sessions went, but because I only do one exercise 2 or 3 times a week for carbs, they don't have that recovery issue. So now I know when I'm doing too many sets, which is why logging your lifts and having a plan is so important, because recovery today has been poor. I've not been able to up my weights on some movements, which means all I need to do is drop some of the volume per muscle. So on my back, for example, because I was struggling, I might just pull out 2 sets on the back and ham session, yeah? And that's how I manage it. And it's a much easier way to manage it than just coming in and going, oh, I'll just do what I feel like. Because just doing what you feel like doesn't get you anywhere. Facts don't care about your feelings, mate, and neither does muscle growth. You've got to have a plan, and you've got to get stronger over time in order to build muscle with adequate amounts of volume and the right number of sets and the right technique and the right diet. Fucking hell, it's hard. Wow, that is hard. That was good, man. This is one of the best seated calf raises I've ever used. Hammer strength. I love hammer strength, man. The only thing is, with some of it, it's a bit like, it can be a little bit sketchy in the way they've made it, so you have to, when you're doing a chest press, for example, you have to sort of like stay in this range, because it gets very hard at the top, which defeats the whole object, because you want to overload the stretch when you're doing a press. One more set on here and then I'm done. It's home time. I'm going to Nando's. Probably go home, get a shower and then come back out, to be honest. Still need to do steps. Still need to do a lot of things. Still need to do editing. That's probably going to take me about 5 hours. Not complaining, like. Enjoying the process. That's the thing as well, you've got to, I think I touched on this in another video the other day, but I always say to myself, you know what the goal is, but you don't just think about the goal, you have to focus on the steps in order to lead to the goal. And people get obsessed with the goal, and when they don't reach that goal in time, in the expected time frame, because of a lack of effort and a lack of consistency, they'll complain. But you can't complain about the results you didn't get for the work you didn't do. You have to put the work in to get to the goal. It's like me coming in the gym twice a week and going, oh, why am I not building any muscle? I've been training twice a week. Because you're not training enough. You're not training hard enough. You're not tracking your lifts enough. You're not tracking your diet enough. You're not being consistent enough. You have to be consistent across the board on a solid plan that is laid out effectively with good technique and correct nutrition, and you have to track your results on a consistent basis. That is the fastest way to get to any goal in any aspect. You need a plan. Everything starts with a plan. Without a plan, without a goal, you can't create a plan. And without a plan, you can't get to the goal. So it is the key to everything. You must have a plan. It is essential. Last set. And then it's time to go home. It's pretty easy today, this. Like, unexpectedly easy, which is good. There we go. Right, boys, done. Gonna go do a little physique check, and then I am finished. Pretty happy with the carbs at the end. Some of the volume now, because I'm dieting and the calories are lower, just needs to come down a little bit. There's a couple of sets that I might take out. I'm going to see how I am next week after decent sleep and a decent amount of food, a little bit extra food over the weekend, and I'll just see how I am.
I've got a new tablet, 11-inch tablet. I'm going to talk section. Yeah.